Hi guys. Hi everybody. Good afternoon. After lunch, maybe you will be a little bit sleepy, so we'll try to make the section very interesting. Can you hear? Can you hear as well? Yeah. Okay. So Jeff, why don't I start with you?
Sure.
Please introduce yourself and what does your company do, and please quickly introduce yourself.
All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jeff. I'm the CEO and founder of Turing Space. So what we do is basically we help the world solving fraud issue, right? AI right now is too handy a tool. It's nearly easy and cheap for people to create fake image, fake video, fake documentation, even fake identity. So right now we are helping like governments in 10 countries, 400 organizations right now using us to issue digital identity cards and digital certificates. And we're originally from Taiwan, right now operating in US, Japan, and also Europe. Our people who receive our identity card right now across 160 countries so far and expanding for now. So lucky to be here to share a bit about how a Taiwanese founder moved across the strait to Japan and how I feel the challenge, the opportunity right here. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Jeff. And I think, Anna, you are a little bit different compared to Jeff. You actually set up your company here in Japan, and you do speak Japanese. So why don't you quickly introduce yourself and as well as the company?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. Really awesome event. My name is Anna. I'm a founder and CEO of Flora. We're a health tech company that focuses on women, and we strive to empower women through data. We solve gender-specific issues like infertility, menopause, period pain, etc., etc. We have a consumer branch and also an enterprise branch. For consumers, we provide consumer apps, health tracking apps for these issues for menopause, for period and fertility. For enterprises, we help women in the workplace. We work with big enterprises to support, for example, factory workers, women in delivery industries. We provide platform with online consultations, medical consultations, hormonal test kits, different AI personalized assistants, and we also help optimize workplace so that the labor loss that's associated with this infertility or period pain issues is decreased as much as possible, and that women can feel their best at the workplace environment.
Thank you, thank you. So I will, thank you everybody. So I'll quickly introduce myself as well. I'm general partner of UV Ventures. As you can see, venture means that we are a VC based here in Japan. We are a fund that established 2018. We're still the young fund, mainly invest in early stage, the stage before Series A. In terms of the technology area that we invest a lot is enterprise SaaS, AI, and also hardware-enabled SaaS, IoT, and automation. So that's about myself. As you can see from my name, I'm also originally not coming from Japan, and I'm running my fund base here in Japan. So today's section, I see a lot of a foreigner founder here. So our aim is to, share our experience doing here in Japan and how can we help you to realize, when you want to come to Japan, what would be the potential thing that you need to consider. So my first question to you, Anna.
Okay.
Why Japan?
Actually, my story is boring.
Really?
Yes.
How come?
Yes,
I thought it's interesting.
I came here as a student. I chose Japan as a country to study in, and I got into Japanese university. And at that point, I got really, really bored with my lectures, and I thought that maybe I can do something more interesting. And I started the startup as a student. So it was more not like a choice for like a business choice, but something that just grew out of my ambitions naturally.
I see. So you never work in the Japanese
I never
corporate.
worked in a Japanese company.
Okay, that's very interesting. We're going to come back to that later. Jeff, you don't speak Japanese.
Not yet.
And I know Taiwan is close to here, of course, but why Japan then?
Yeah, there's so many reasons. Like even though Taiwan and Japan is is pretty close, and I think the culture, we have a lot of similarity. And if you randomly choose someone on the street of Taiwan and ask you, like, what is your favorite country if you want to travel abroad, I think Japan will top the list. And it could be account for 50% of the choice of the Taiwanese right there. For business, actually, we heard about a lot of the news about Japan is a conventional market. People may be conservative, people may be make a decision that could take longer time compared to the other countries. But when I come here, I feel like, oh, maybe right now, today, Japan is the right timing. People are open up, government are open up, company, they have open innovation right now. So there are so many opportunities, so many new fundings, capital right there. People would love to collaborate with you, and people love to see a software innovation. So as a conclusion, I think I find out like, oh, Japan, they are looking for foreign founder who are doing software. So if any founder right here, you're doing software, IT, I think you're at the right place.
Okay, this is a very interesting point. Jeff just said Japan is looking for foreign founder, right? But I think a lot of question I receive is, I don't speak Japanese. And is that feasible? As a founder that you don't speak Japanese, can you penetrate to this market? Adding to that, to sell B2B into the Japanese corporate or government, normally it seems to take longer time. Is that feasible? So relate to that kind of background, I would like to ask you first, Anna, that since you are doing B2B as well, what was your experience so far when you're dealing, working business with a Japanese corporate, and what were some difficulty that you faced, and how did you actually overcome to that difficulty?
Yeah, great question. I think it's a huge topic. I think if you're a founder like me, who started from a point when I knew nothing about startups and I was just a university student and I wanted to do something just to see whether I can solve this problem, I think speaking Japanese is crucial. Because first, well, you have end users and you need to talk to your end users, and your end users is Japanese if you're doing business for Japanese customers, and there's a lot of cultural differences and cultural barriers. Even if you look at some, say, consumer apps that are in Japan, there are apps overseas that for some reason are not used by Japanese people, but they have like a Japanese version of the services that exist overseas. So there are special needs, there are special preferences, cultural differences, so you have to learn how to cater to that, and you have to be able to talk to the users first. And secondly, when you go for enterprises, that's a whole level up, because not only cultural differences as like kind of Japanese culture, but also the Japanese working environment. There's just like a lot of these specific rituals, a lot of the way to speak, to talk to you. Like you can talk with your corporate potential clients and they say that they're very interested and they'll get back to you, and you think, oh, they'll get back to me, but actually what they mean is that, well, they're not interested and they don't really want to work with you. And there's this subtle language that you have to understand, and also to understand who to talk to, because there's a huge corporate structure, hierarchy. You need to know who's in charge of what and who you can talk to, and who it's better not to talk to, right? Just a waste of time.
I see. Thank you. I think I also heard from a lot of foreigner founders. They come here to do business with Japanese enterprise, and every time when I finish meeting, they would tell me, yeah, everything was great. They have an interest. And then 1 month later, they call me, hey, Chiamin, I thought we had agreement with the Japanese company. They say, yeah, they are interested, but I never really heard anything from them. So one tip to all the audience here, that the way that Japanese communicate during the business situation, because we don't want to hurt people's feeling. So we tend to say, yeah, sounds interesting, it's great. But you need to actually read between the line to see if he has questions or if he is going to follow up with you. And that's kind of the advice I always give to foreigner founders. Jeff, relate to this kind of a question. I know that you don't speak Japanese, but you still do the business with enterprise, bringing your local team. and then have the translation in the between. Did you actually had a similar problem? Or was actually easier because you don't speak Japanese? You can actually play a foreigner card to be more aggressive?
Yeah, I think you mentioned the right thing. Just is like actually during the meeting with a corporation, our Japan team, we actually have 4 people right here based in Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto, and they speak Japanese. So entire meeting gonna be in 3 languages. So how it goes is like our client talk to us in Japanese, my Japan team translate to me in Chinese, in Mandarin. I understand it, and then I will ask her saying, oh, do they understand English? If our team say they understand, they can understand by hearing, then I will speak English. So it was like a triangular conversation within the entire meeting. And every time after this kind of experiences, the client, the customer, they find it really interesting. They say, oh, this is the first time in a meeting we speak 3 languages and it still work. And my job become kind of like mascot. I just show up and smiling, speaking some like konnichiwa and Japanese, and then they will feel like, oh, we are using like overseas technology but localizing in Japan, customizing in Japan. They actually, it could be used as a disadvantage, but I think we find a way to make it an advantage. So even though my Japanese speaking level is, I think, still lower than level N5 or something like, but I think it's still pretty working well. And I think the key conclusion right here is, whenever a foreign founder, if you don't speak Japanese, you want to do business in Japan, you need a strong team who are Japanese right here, who know what is going on right here. And that person needs to be a local people. Yeah, local talents.
So you mentioned about team, so we can actually, talk about a little about team. So hiring is always very hard. Anna, I know you are building the local team together with foreigner team. Do you actually hire Japanese that speaks English, or it's okay for your team member not speaking English? And if that's the case, how do you actually integrate the team culture?
Well, that's also a huge question. I would be happy to say that we completely solved this problem, but it's not yet completely solved. I don't think there's like a permanent solution. At first, we only tried to hire somebody in Japan who could speak English. We have we have our development team overseas. Our sales, marketing, etc. team is located in Japan, and we wanted so that everybody had at least one language in common, and that was the ideal we were striving for, and it didn't really work.
Why?
Why? Because there's like, if you only aim Japanese people who speak English, the pool is very limited, and when you're very, very early stage, you just don't have this choice. So you just have to, accept the situation as it is. So right now, what we're trying to do is we have some key positions that have to talk both to clients and to development team. And those people are required to speak English. We're not we don't care if your grammar is wrong. Like, it's not like a language school. You just have to be brave enough to talk to our developers and explain what customers want. For everybody else, it's okay to just speak Japanese. Well, lately, thanks to like ChatGPT, a lot of online translation tools, they can at least have a conversation in Slack where you can use these tools to convey to translate what they think, in text. So we try to divide these positions that require English and don't require English, because otherwise it's close to impossible.
Yeah, I think also in your case, because you are in the slightly early stage, you're still building your business, so you probably need to hire more local people, and also maybe your company is not yet big enough to attract more, I would say, like high profile people as well.
Exactly.
That's the limitation you're facing. Okay, got it. Jeff, how about you? I know you hire local country manager in a way here, and I think a lot of foreign startup, when they want to come to Japan, the first thing that necessary is to consider who to hire as their country manager? Did you hire a country manager that's pure Japanese? Or did you hire the country manager that is, Chinese-speaking foreigner? And what was the reason, the decision making?
Yeah, I think that's a key. So our company, we especially like two types of people. One is mixed blood. So I'm serious, like if the person is from two backgrounds, either like parents are from different country, different backgrounds, either that person is from one country but born in the other country. So this kind of mixed blood, mixed background person actually understand maybe multi-language or understand at least two countries' business and markets. So they have a born advantage. So that's the first. The second is we love ex-founder. What I mean ex-founder is that person usually founded startup in the past, but maybe failed or exit, and the person is a freeman right now, or that person actually run as a country representative for the other country, the other company, and then quit. So ex-founder and mixed blood are a very special feature. If you have any, you will be super awesome. I mean, fit for our company as well. And our country manager we hire in Japan, Mari-san, she actually are both. So she's used to be ex-founder, and also she's like mixed blood of Taiwan and Japan. So we can do conversation in Mandarin and English, and then she can do conversation in like different languages with the clients. So I think that would be a key thing. And a lot of people who are trying to find like Taiwanese who speak Japanese to explore a market in Japan, I don't think that work. Like even someone who speaks Mandarin trying to go to Taiwan, but that person is not Taiwanese, we will never regard that person as Taiwanese. I think same reason. So we really need a local like people, nationality people, if we want to do that country's markets. I think that will be important.
I see. Thank you. So to add an additional question to you, Jeff, because Anna, you are based in Japan, so you probably have more network to reach out to local people. So Jeff, since you're coming outside from Japan, what kind of channel or what was the methodology that you applied to hire local people in the beginning?
Yeah, purely by luck. But I can give you some channel and thoughts, like how I reach out to the first one and the second one Japan hire we have in Japan. The first one, Mari-san, I just asked my investor saying, do you know by chance like anyone who's in Japanese or who's know Japan markets? And my investor, he was going to take a class by like Japanese tutor. And Mari-san, even though she's a country manager of an Estonian company right now operating in Japan in past, but she's also giving tutor class. So that's how they met. So I have this kind of like introduction from my investor saying, oh, I know the guy who's my Japanese tutor. And then I met Mari, I feel like, oh, that is the right person I want to be working with. So I invite Mari to do part-time for half a year. And Mari actually, without a Japanese company, without a Japanese product, Mari conclude a contract within a month with MIC, the Ministry of the Interior Affairs of Japan, to issue online certificate about our systems. I feel like, oh, that person is a genius. They know how to do business, even though we are not at all Japanese products. So that's the first channel. Like, ask your investor, ask your network, like, do you happen to know any Japanese? Even that person wouldn't not yet be a Japanese business people, but that could be one talent in the future. Second channel, I try to join a lot of like initial stage incubation program in Japan. And I think I applied for two, like one is Okinawa startup program, very early stage. They organized 500 Global, in Kobe. And I went up to the like e-meeting site of the 500 Kobe, and I tried to message everyone because that messaging people is for free. So I messaged everyone, and no one replied to me. There's only one people reply, called Sika. And I found out that person is a Kobe-born Taiwanese. Perfect, right? So two countries, two backgrounds. And we can speak Mandarin, she can speak Japanese. So I hired her. So in conclusion, one is ask your network, is there any Japanese? And the other one is join lots of programs that you can meet founders right here. And if the founder doesn't want to start a company anymore, that would be your great talents. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. So basically, you were the person in charge of finding
That's my
the
job.
local partner instead of utilize your network. Yeah. Before I go into the next question, I would like to kind of understand the audience here. How many of you are foreigner founder that plan to come to Japan? Can you raise the hand so I know what audience base? Okay, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. How many of you are local people that is starting your startup? Can you share? Okay, most of them are local. Okay, got it. So then that's still the different kind of topic. Yeah. So Anna, that you as a foreigner founder here, what was your journey of a fundraise? Did you actually feel it was? Did you face any difficulty?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Can you share that?
Well,
As much as you can. Huh?
yeah. Sure. So I started Flora in 2020 in December. It was right in the middle of coronavirus. Well, the thing that helped us was that everything went online, so it was easier to talk to people because up till 2020, well, in Japan, you had to meet face to face. I think even now, like that kind of culture is coming back.
Right.
But I had this advantage that I was able to try and talk to as many people, as many investors as possible online while staying in Kyoto. We're actually based in Kyoto. We have an office in Tokyo. But I can't say that it went easily. I think, well, it's always comes down to like talking to 50 people and just one of them actually believing you and saying, okay, I can go with your idea. But because I was a foreign founder, at that point, I didn't have a network, so it was something that I had to build. And it was also that I think at that point, I didn't really speak Japanese that well. I was able to read, write, but it was never like pitching was never my like strong skill. So there was a lot of learnings. It's just like you do the same thing over and over again every day. You talk to people, they reject you. You just move forward, and finally somebody out of 50 people or 100 people just says, okay, that sounds like a nice idea.
Yeah, I think as an investor, for most of the startup, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that. You probably won't feel everybody will say yes.
Yes.
I think for you, the difficult part is also the language barrier.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the case?
It definitely was because I had to learn. I had to understand how to behave because I didn't really know how to.
Can you elaborate what do you mean by how to behave?
So the thing that I spoke about enterprises, so you never really know what they mean. I think the same thing can work with Japanese investors. Some people say no, just like flat no, and well, at least it's easy to understand. But some people can drag on the process for like months and months, and you're just, okay, I'm finally, looks like I'm getting it, but you're not getting any forward. So you have to learn to talk with investors as well. But so not only equity fundraising, I think a more harder part for me was loans from banks and working with banks. I think as a foreign founder, it's way harder to convince financial institutions to even open like a corporate account. I know a lot of, like for us, we were participating in some programs, so the process was fairly easy, but for a lot of my friends, even opening a corporate account in one of the banks was like an impossible task.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that I heard a lot of similar stories, so thank you for sharing that. Jeff, have you raised the money from a Japanese VC? Or is your investor non-Japanese VC?
Yeah.
Investor, sorry. Yeah.
I think that's a good question. So our company right now like 4 years, and we're going to have a 4-year anniversary by June. So we raised already 2 rounds, the seed pre-A, and the A round is concluding. So more good news to be announced by the end of May. And for the first 2 rounds, we didn't raise from any Japanese VC because we always face the same challenges. They ask a question like, how many clients you have right now in Japan? Do you have any real cases? For real cases, can you copy and paste the real cases to the other company? Is it a repeatable model? Is it a recurring revenue? And how many steps you have in Japan? If Japan is not your majority stepping country, then why do you want to raise from Japan? So there will be so many questions you're gonna facing or you have already faced, and we are unable to answer all of them until like I think recently this year we start to have more and more clients in Japan. So maybe by the end of May, the news will say something about
I see.
differences.
But you did talk to the Japanese investor, right? So
yeah.
what Anna just mentioned previously, did you agree or do you have a different kind of perspective on that?
Yeah, they would not always, I have something similar, that they would not always say, oh, we're not going to invest in you. I think 50% they would drag on, for sure. They would say, we need to review another document. But I feel like it's not only in Japan. It's everywhere in the world, even in Taiwan. Like they would say, oh, I need to see your data rate. I need to see your whatever contract. And so I think that's a similarity part. Yeah.
Well, I think in Japan, I think it's just longer. So we raised from VC. We also raised from corporate entity, from a corporation. And so this is like a whole different level, especially the due diligence that Japanese corporation has to do just to invest in you. The due diligence, just like looking at all the contracts that your startup concluded from the day that you incorporated, like till the present day, like everything, all the employee contracts. Not just contracts with different. Oh. Yeah, so every paper you've ever had and you've ever produced has to be checked. And the due diligence itself, it took like 3 months, just the due diligence.
It's pretty different. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the time frames are kind of different. Yeah.
So I mean, also I think investor also has a different kind of category. You will have investor like us as a pure fund, or it was corporate VC or the corporate itself. I think different type of a VC has its own different kind of process, which is true.
And it is also something special. I think different from Taiwan and Japan is sometimes when we have a client, maybe a large corporation who are collaborating with us, they have a pay contract already, and we ask them, can you introduce us to your CVC? I find that difficult, like they don't know each other. Like they feel like they are totally different departments, even they feel like a different company, and they are not usually go for the same vision. So it would be hard. Like we have a client with what company, and then the company CVC also invest in. It's gonna be 2 different processes. That's the thing I also feel.
I see. Jeff, I think because this is your 4th year, and then you start out from Taiwan, you already have a product. You brought a product here to Japan. I would like to ask you, how much localization did you actually did in order to come to Japan? And what was the decision process on whether you would do localization? When I say localization, I'm not talking about just translate that to Japanese. I'm talking about the functionality and modification. So can you share that process with us?
Yeah, so I think startup founder designed a feature driven by customer needs. I think that's a key, right? So, and customer needs, and there are so many needs, and whose needs to be served first is like repetitive, high contract volume, right? so that's always the model like this. So when we realize that Japanese clients are willing to pay much more compared to the other countries' clients, and they are more suitable for doing digital trust business model, we decide, then we're gonna do a lot of client interview with them. So if every time I come here, as a mascot, we go to visit our customers, and then we will invite our PM, product management team from Taiwan to call in, to dial in, and then we do a sales pitch as well as a customer interview, trying to know, by using our certification platform, what you want to improve. Do you like the button look like this? Do you like this kind of color and design? We even make our name cards, if you have any, look like the Japanese flag. if you notice, our name card is a vertical one, a white one with a black fonts, and our logo is a red circle. Put on it is a Japanese flag. So we feel like everything we need to make sure we look like a Japanese brand from all kinds of angles. So in conclusion, is we do lots of client interview with a corporation. We try to make ourselves look like Japanese brand. Our company even registered as a Turing Japan INC. So that's a name. So yeah.
Just confirmation. So do you have a different product depending on the market, or you just have one product that you will try to integrate all the needs? Can you kind of clarify that?
Yeah, we do. We do have different products. In Taiwan or the other country, like e-certification is enough, sufficient. People can use it for a lot of different places. Japan, they love a total solution. Or sometimes they want a deeper framework design, co-design with us. So when we are serving a company who do digital identity, they actually want to do like weekly and monthly meeting with us and discussing the very technical part of the protocol design. We never did that with the other company in the other countries. So I think that's the first part. They want to make sure our protocol are very conformist and also it can be easily connected to each other. And they also want us to build a total solution on carbon credit footprints. And we never did it before. Like they say, you can do certificates. What about let's brainstorm for this several direction? They will give you a direction, and then we brainstorm the idea out, and then they pay the money, we co-product. So that's usually how the process goes. And I think something I learned this year is you need to get prepared with all the implementation of idea, because sometimes they need to think much longer with a more detailed thoughts. But if you can feed in the idea, they will feel like, oh, this sounds right. So Taiwanese people use like this, so we can go with this. So with a backup idea would be super helpful and enhance the speed of the discussion as well.
Thank you. Anna, I know that you mentioned to me that all your product development team are outside of Japan, and your Japan team are mainly the sales. So what would be your kind of product building process for locally? Because you are serving a local customer, but you have all the product team that might not necessarily understand the Japanese culture, understand the Japanese customer. How do you manage that?
Well, so overseas we have the development and some of the product managers, but we have some of the content creators, some of the also partly product managers in Japan as well. Okay. So we're trying to, well, there's trade-offs, right? So each corporation wants something that's customized to their needs, but as a startup, you also need to scale, and to scale, you need to build a product that's easy to use in different countries and in different by different companies. So there's always, I think in Japan there is also this, well, not really a culture, but for example, in our case, there's our partners are HRs, and sometimes they want a new feature just because they want a new feature. And if you even, well, ask them to explain rationally, well, they say, well, for our corporation, this looks good, we want it, then do it for us. So it's very important to understand your customer needs in terms of, do they really want it, or do they just think they want it and they think that they are entitled to have it? And for us, the key point is to find this balance between what's really needed so that we're able to sell our product and for women to use it, and what's this fine dividing line between really customizing some parts of it so that it's better for each enterprise.
That's a very good point. I think a lot of B2B business here in Japan for the startup, especially when you want to acquire a large enterprise, you are always facing a request from the enterprise to say, I would like you to change the system. And as a startup, we normally kind of mentor or guiding our staff to say, you need to be careful on whether this is a common needs or this is just a specific needs from that specific company. And it's always hard to make that judgment. So But then if you actually did not make a right judgment, in the end you are building one product only for one enterprise company that you cannot scale. So that's one thing I think you make a very, very good point. Let me kind of ask two of you one simple question, and I would like you to make it briefly. If you can actually redo things, for example, Anna, if you have a chance to reset up the company, what would be your difference? What will you do differently? Jeff, same question to you. Maybe it's perfect right now, but if you can actually reverse the clock back, what will you do different? Who do you, and jump in.
Yeah. You mean go back to 4 years ago?
No. I mean, coming to Japan, or because I think today's topic is from global to Japan. So if you look back your journey here, setting up a company here, doing the business here, if you have a chance to go back, what will you do different?
Yeah, I will try to learn Japanese earlier.
Got it.
That would be one. I will try to get more immersive experiences in Japan as early as I could, because I feel like all the progression that we can make in Japan is all by connection and introduction. So if I only know, 10 people in Japan, it will times a percentage to become the progression I can make. But if I can have 100 people that I know in Japan and another 100 people who know us in Japan, then introduction and connection will grow significantly faster. So what I mean would be the first year we come to Japan, I only do two things. One is join two programs. The other one is find money to join us. And I think if I redo, I probably join 20 programs and just stay here for 6 months, not just 21 days. I stay here 21 days the first year when I come to Japan. So more immersion, more connection, more introduction, and more progression. That's my...
and I would chip in, leverage the local VCs probably faster. Anyway, Anna, what will you do?
For me, it's more like an abstract thing. In the beginning, when I just started, so I was located in Kyoto, and the startup ecosystem in Kyoto is also, it's very, there's not many foreign founders, and in general in Japan, there's not many foreign founders. And when I just started, I think I tried to be someone else. I tried to be more Japanese. I tried to see what my peers are doing and to maybe copy it in a way. And it didn't go well. And then I understood that there's also balance between understanding the Japanese way of doing business, but being different, because if you're not different, you just offer what everybody else offers, and there is no this additional value. But if you're able to find this balance between understanding what they need and also between being who you are and understanding your strengths. In our case, we have a international team, so we have a lot of developers overseas, a lot of product managers that worked with the American market, and we can use these skills to create something on a global level, but something that also caters for the Japanese needs. Yeah. And I wish I understood that.
I see, in the beginning.
Earlier.
Yeah, I think you make a very good point. I think as a VC, when we look at a lot of founder of a company, of course, we try to find the shining point.
Yeah.
So as a foreigner founder, you will probably have something that the local founder won't have. So don't be shy away that you need to behave like a Japanese, but at the same time, you also probably need to demonstrate you do understand the Japanese culture, because it's a balance. We only have 4 minutes left, so we've been talking about sort of a negative side about the barrier that you guys are facing, but at the same time, I think there's also a lot of benefit to setting business here in Japan and to come to Japan. So due to the time constraint, can both of you share some good, benefit about doing business in Japan shortly, so I can actually move to the final question? Yes. Yeah. What do you want to start?
Yeah, I think there's so many benefits. And as a founder, you only look at the bright side. the foods are so good, and the working culture here, like people are getting very focused and intense. So if I have a team working in Taiwan and a team working in Japan, when I'm here, I feel like I'm working at full time in two companies. And I like it because I don't like sleeping, but it's a 24-hour working and I can focus. And there are so many things that is different from what we learn from Taiwan. So what we learn from Taiwan, we can take it here to Japan, and it creates some advantage. Something we learn in Japan, we can take it back to Taiwan. And actually, like Taiwan, a lot of people love like Japanese brands, so we can use it to brand ourselves as well. So I feel like multicultural, multinational sometimes create lots of new thoughts and new belief for us and also our clients. So I think that's the key.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anna, how about you?
For me, it's I think 3 points. The first one is there's a lot of global corporation, global companies in Japan. So if you're able to have these strategic partnerships, you can use Japan as a platform to go to Southeast Asia without establishing even branch offices or actually caring about the market, the localization too deeply. They help you. There's a lot of Japanese companies that have like factories overseas in Taiwan, in Thailand, and it's if you have this partnership, they help you to go global. So I think that's a huge point that for some reason not many startups use, and I think that it's a huge chance that being lost. Secondly, I think the Japanese academia is also getting, for some reason, overlooked. There's a lot of awesome technologies. If you take Kyoto University, there's a lot of Nobel Prize winners, but not many startups in Japan are good at commercializing this technology, and that's also a huge area to improve. If you are able to find a good professor to work with, you can have like cutting-edge technology startup just by next day. And the third one is, I think as Jeff said in the beginning, government is opening up, government is putting a lot of effort into open up the country. There's a lot of subsidies, there's a lot of grants, programs for overseas and for Japanese startups to revitalize Japanese economy. So it's a really good timing to use this public support. Yeah. So.
Thank you. Thank you. We only have a few seconds left, so I will kind of quickly summarize. I think both of you are thank you for sharing very interesting story to us. If you are thinking to come to Japan, to doing business here in Japan, as Anna was saying, there's a lot of positive things. For example, the government's support. I think also a lot of enterprise are willing to explore a lot of different kind of technology and work with a lot of interesting startup. So don't be shy away of coming to Japan. But lastly, my recommendation is try to find a good local partner. Corporate VC, CVC will work, and try to actually work with those local partners, and they will actually help you to understand the market. They will try to help you to guide you on what would be the best way to do business here in Japan. Thank you very much for coming to the stage. I hope you find the discussion interesting. Thank you.